I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Friend, happy Friday. All right, you see me? Do you hear me? Mimi's here. Hey, Mimi, happy Friday. All right, I think we are live in both of our social media platforms, and I'm ready to wrap up the Quick and Sweet Valentine Treats series. It's snowing here. It's an absolutely beautiful winter day, but yeah, definitely a stay inside kind of day. I guess it's only supposed to snow for an hour or two is what Violet was saying, but the street's already covered and everything's getting a blanket of white. I don't know if you guys are local here. You got snow? Jan, Joyce, Nancy, my local friends. I don't know. Let's take a look here, what you guys are saying. I'm really excited to wrap up this series. We'll do a quick recap, a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to tell you guys it has been a crazy, crazy week. We shipped so much stuff this week. Pop-In went out on Tuesday. Well, it got packed on Monday. It was supposed to go out on Tuesday. Sampler got packed on Tuesday. It was supposed to go out on Wednesday. I guess our local post office is down a couple of drivers or delivery, a couple of routes, and so I wear so many hats here. And the mailroom supervisor hat ate up a lot of my Wednesday morning. Anyways, it's been kind of a crazy one. And so we are just going to relax, have a cute little craft, and that's it. I'm not quite ready to bring Prize Wheel back, but we will be doing that. Just a little housekeeping, a little crafting, wrap up this awesome Valentine series. As you can see, the blue Valentine theme continues. Happy Friday, you guys. Cliffy says, can hear you and see your hands. Yay! I'm glad you're here. All right, so while everybody's getting in here, please, if you are watching on the Facebook platform, please make sure that you like and follow the page. We have a big discrepancy between the number of people who like it and the number of people who follow it. So would you do both? Maybe turn on your notifications too on both platforms. And YouTube, if you're not subscribed over here, would you hit the subscribe button? And if you know anybody who would like this content, please share. We love when you share. It is the best compliment you can pay us. All right, so as you can see from our Quick and Sweet Valentine Treat series, project number 6, there's a couple of sneak peeks in here. Last week I said I had placed my pre-order, and I would share some of that with you. So we're going to get little sneak peeks. We will be using the Stampin' Positioner, and I'll give you my thoughts on that so far. And yeah, we'll just hang out and have a good time today. I'm looking forward to wrapping up this series, and then next week we start our paper sampler and sketch series. So I'm looking forward to getting started with that. So let's start with some housekeeping, and then we'll get crafting. Cliffy says, don't forget to give Marisa a thumbs up. Yes, please. I appreciate those. It's the comments and interacting with each other and interacting with me, the thumbs up, the likes and subscribes, and the shares. Those are free ways that you can grow our channel, and that's our goal in 2026. So thank you for that. Hey, Sue, how are you? Let's see. Margaret says, hello from Bloomington, Illinois. Are you snowing there yet, Margaret? No snow for you yet, Jan. Let's see. Hello from Minneapolis. Hey, Sue. I'm glad you're here. You got snow, Sue? Jen says, hello from rainy Washington. Hey, Jen. Jen, it was fun hanging out with you last night. My friend and downline Sandy had a live yesterday and did kind of a Case the Catalog card layout. And I bumped into Jen there. It's a small world of stampers, right? Morning, Lena. I'm glad you're here. Gail says, North Seattle here. Hey, look at my Washington friends are in the house. Okay, and now if this is the first time you've caught us live, will you also throw that in the in the comments. Oh, Sandy's here. Hey, Sandy. No snow here, but -4. Oh, boy. That's almost too cold to snow, isn't it? Hey, Joy. Corinne is here. Corinne, I'm glad you're here. Happy Friday. Kathy says, happy Friday, everyone. 70 yesterday in Texas. Today, barely above freezing. Oh, gosh. What a roller coaster. Sharon's here. Hey, Sharon. How are you? Gail says, good morning from Washington State. You guys are really tuning in today. Yay. I'm glad you're all here. Hey, Marla. Marla says, light snow in DeKalb. And Kathy says, hello, First Live. Hey, Kathy, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. All right, so we go live Fridays at noon Central Time, and it's pretty much every week. And then we have some Thursdays we do 2 p.m. card class, and we'll get back into a stronger schedule with that too as I have a little bit more time to do some stamping. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just recap the series. Don't worry, we will be compiling all the PDFs. So if you're not an email subscriber and you didn't get the email exclusives, we'll be compiling it, and more information about that will come tomorrow. This is day 6. Let me get this out of here of our project number 6 in our quick and sweet Valentine treats. And then let's see. Cindy says, one more from Washington. Hey, Cindy, I'm glad you're here. Where are all you guys from? Put that in the comments. It helps me get to know you better, and it helps you get to know each other, because one of the things that we do is build community here. There's a amazing Facebook group. It's the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social, facebook.com/group/Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social. Or from our Facebook page, Kitchen Table Stamper on Facebook, you can find our group. And a lot of these people in the comments know each other from that group and support each other in all things crafty and more. All right, so let me change my view so I don't have a delay and show you. So this is 6, and then 5 was last Friday live. Okay, so 6, 5, 4 was for email subscribers only. And then 3 was live 3 weeks ago. So this was Friday, last Friday, the Friday before. And then 2, this one was for email subscribers only. And then 1, our first quick and sweet Valentine treats was, so this is our quick and sweet Valentine treats series. If it was a live, a public project, you'll be able to find the instructions and replay for the live video at kitchentablestamper.com. If you are an email subscriber, you'll be able to find the email exclusives in your inbox. Now, we do these as a combination of lives and emails because our email list is our lifeline. It is where we can, it's the only platform where we can push information directly to you. It's called push marketing. It's where we have access to you. Every other place we have to pull. So we have to try to bring you to our blog, bring you to our social media, bring you to our lives. We have to try to move you. Email is the only place where we actually, because you so graciously gave us your email and signed up for our list, where we can go to you. So the reason why we do a couple in our series that are email exclusives is because we want you to interact with us in email so that we can train email providers. So when you interact with us in Gmail, in yahoo.com, in SBC or sbc.global.net or AOL or iMac or wherever your email is, when you interact with us, you train that particular provider. You train all Gmails, all AOLs, you train them that the content is legit. So when you find it in your promotions and move it to your inbox, you train that email provider. So all the emails on our list have better deliverability. When you open, you contribute to what's called our open rate. A good open rate means we get delivered to the inbox and not to the spam. And so that's why we do that. So if you would find those projects in your inbox and open that email and grab that project sheet out, when you click the links, you open it up and you click links, or you open it up and you say, hey, great project, thanks, and you reply to us, you're helping us and the business in a way that it might be boring for me to go on about it to understand, but it's such an important part of our business. And so we reward positive participation to our email with exclusive tutorials. That's why they're exclusive. Now, if you've been on the email list and you've had trouble finding those, just reach out to us. We'll give you a time of day and a subject line to search for. And then you can grab that out of spam or junk or promotions or social and put it in your inbox for us and open and get that project sheet. If you still can't find it, because we have had some that are just going into email black hole, just let us know that you searched and you still can't find it. And we will give you the project sheets for these two again. And you can just email me, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com, or staycrafty@kitchentablestamper.com if you have trouble finding those. But it's a huge thing that you're doing for us when you subscribe and you get these emails and you open these links and you help us out in this way. All right, so, oh, look, I've got a hubcap on the bottom of my popcorn. So this one is a sweet little treat, or a not so sweet little treat. No one's better than you. Then we have the Colonel Seasonings popcorn mini in there. Love it. We're going to do a recap post of these projects tomorrow with all the Amazon links. When you start your shopping for anything on Amazon, gym shoes, reusable shopping bags, clocks, dog food, whatever you're buying, when you start from one of our links, even if it's not Colonel Seasonings, that's another way you can help the channel. So that's our number one. Number two is a sweet little You Are Loved. And inside, I got a stretchy bandana headband. Can't wait till this series is over because I will be wearing this like every day. It's so stinking cute. And then number three, I love the box for number three. It was fun and creative for me to design. It's a little tag. It's a hanging treat box. We've got the little honey dipper spoon and some tea in the little pocket. If you find other things that are fun to tie this tag box to, or other things that fit, please share in our craft social. That's what we do in our community. So we take these ideas and we make them our own, and then we share and inspire the other people in the community to do the same. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is this. This is Sandy's. This is my case, my contribution, my own creative twist on her Festive Friends card class. And inside this one are 2 little snowman plushies, or snowmans plushies. They're indoor snowballs, like for an indoor snowball fight, and some sweet little Valentine treats. And the reason why I chose tractors and snowmans and popcorns is because I've probably convinced you to buy those bundles with Card Club or Card Class. So I wanted to show you some more support for those purchases. If you've made those purchases from me, thank you so much for buying those bundles. And hopefully this series has given you some more ways to use those things. All right, last Friday we made this sweet gift card wallet. I don't know if the gift card's in there. Nope, it's not. That's the one that I had found one when I was cleaning up yesterday. I keep prop gift cards. There's nothing on them anymore usually, but they make good props. And I was like, where did that come from? Well, that's it. So, of course, you could put some little photos in here. You could put tags with sweet Valentine messages. If it's a gift card, you could fold some cash or a check. Cute little mini Ghirardelli wallet. I love this postage stamp. I feel like I haven't exhausted Valentine's Day by any means, but we're almost done with the series. Can you believe it? Today's project, here it is. Are you ready for this? It is a Lip Smackers shadow box treat, and as you can see, there's lots of sneak peek product in here. So we're gonna make a fun little shadow box. pop in some of the classic lip smackers. I gave you a link for these on Amazon. When I look them up on Amazon, and here's the thing about Amazon, and I guess Walmart's going this way too, is like individual pricing. So when you log in, you might see a different price, and I know that that's just how it goes. That's just how it happens. And I've heard Walmart's going that way too. They're going to start taking prices off of products, and you're going to have to scan the app, and they're going to give you a price that's for you, which might be higher than somebody else's price. For the classic ones, 8 sticks for $9.99 delivered right to your door, and perfect for this season, but for anything really. So there's our little lip smackers. You can find all of our Amazon links in the description for today's project, and then we'll do a recap post so that you can check and make sure you got all the projects. Oh, I just dumped them out. That's okay. I need them anyways because I don't want to get up and get another set. But I do have another set. All right, so it's just a little shadow box with a belly band. Oh, I don't want to tear the corner of my paper there. It just keeps catching. There we go. And we're going to make that right now. Let me take a peek at your comments and get ready. Next week, we start our shortcut card sketch series. So next Friday at noon, I will be live with the first card in our shortcut card sketch. What is this one? The January, April, and online exclusive paper sampler and sketch series. And this is card number 1. So you can see that we've got a little matching set for you. Last week, next week. Okay? All right, so that's really all the housekeeping I have here. If you're a kitchenette and you did paper sampler, just the paper with the add-on, I still have your paper samplers. I'm out of envelopes, but they are gonna be delivered today. I'm so sorry for the delay, but everybody else is gone. Hopefully you'll have it just in time to start our series next week. All right, so let's look at this comments going on here. I'm ordering bandanas just so I can make the tractor project. Oh, okay, the snowman too. And the lip smackers. My hubby knows my Stampin' Up! Spending are your fault. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, I'm sorry, hubbies. But really, I make your wives a whole lot happier when they stamp with me. So it's like happy tax. That's all, right? Okay, so let me show you some things really quick here because we got some sneak peeks. If you were a demonstrator, you can order the March online exclusives. If you are a customer, you have to wait till I think it's March 3rd. All right. We're using this designer series paper today. And it is probably the best one from Stampin' Up! In a while. I just love this Homemade Sweetness designer series paper. So you can see we're using the flower and the hearts. There's a big blue gingham. We're using that one too underneath here. Let me show you the other sides of those really quick because you're going to love the flexibility in this paper. It's got lots of good B-side patterns, and it's fruity and jammy, and it's got cute little ladybugs and daisies. So lots of useful patterns here. There's 3 sheets. There's 6 double-sided designs. So let me show you the other ones. Look at those sweet jelly jars. Isn't that so? The color combination that Stampin' Up! Pulled out for this one, I love it. On the other side of the little jars is a great notebook sheet. Scrapbookers, this is a nice background, not intrusive. Card makers, this is a good wingman paper. Love that. There's not a single pattern in here that I don't like. On the other side of this modeled one are bigger jelly jars and honey bears. Do you see the potential here, you guys? I'm so excited about this one. This will probably make its way into our April card club, probably, because I just can't resist the strawberries. So I had said before that I had an idea for April, but I wanted to see what March had to offer before I committed to it. We're having a change of plans with this paper. Color palette's great. The subject matter is right up my bowling alley. And so just an idea. I don't know exactly if I will put it with the coordinating bundle. I may or may not. I might take it outside of the realm of jelly. So I'll give you more information as I play with it. Let me put that one aside now that you've seen it. And speaking of the coordinating bundle, hang on, I got that right here. We are going to use just the strawberry image from it. But let me show you the stamp set and the dies. So there's the Filled with Sweetness dies and the Filled with Sweetness stamp set. I think when you look at the Filled with Sweetness itself, the jar is a little bit, it's extra present, right? But I think there's a lot more when paired up with the paper and the dies that can be done with this than meets the eye at first. So this might be our April featured bundle. It might not be, but the paper I think is where I'm going. All right, so I'm gonna need that strawberry. Let me grab that off of there. And that is going to be available for customers March 3rd. Now here's the thing, if you're a demonstrator, you can order it right now and pre-order the paper, the bundle. If you are not a demonstrator yet, you can order it with a starter kit, but wait until February. Let's see here. I think it's February 3rd. Yeah, because our bonus days runs through February 2nd, I think. So February 3rd, I think, is when you can join and get the pre-order items. The other thing you will get when you join in February is the new Stampin' Positioner. All right, so they are not including the grid paper, they're just including the Stampin' Positioner, but it's absolutely free. So when you join Stampin' Up in the month of February, you pay $99 plus tax. There's no shipping. You choose $125 of product. That product is of your choice, anything that Stampin' Up is offering currently. Online exclusive, any current catalog, last chance list, and new pre-orders. So you can pre-order the stuff and have access right away. So you can have access to right away to March pre-order stuff. Choose $125 of product. So you get $125 of product plus the new Stampin' Positioner. You pay $99 plus tax. No shipping on that order. So it is an awesome time to join Stampin' Up and become one of our kitchenettes. I am just loving my kitchenettes team. We would love to have you be a part of it. If you're in the craft social, you might notice that we added all of our swaps, our most recent swaps into the albums so that you guys can see we're swapping, we're mystery stamping, we're doing all kinds of fun stuff on the team. And we would love to have you join and become a part of our kitchenettes community. And just wait a couple days though. Don't do it yet. The stamp positioner is a great value and they're just going to throw it in. You don't have to do anything except for join in February, starting on the 3rd, I think it is. So, all right, so this is our Stampin' Positioner. I just put the grid paper in there. The grid paper is a separate purchase. You won't get that with your starter kit. It doesn't come with the Stampin' Positioner. The Stampin' Positioner will be available to customers at a later date. That's what Stampin' Up is saying about it so far. So at a later date, you'll be able to order it if you're not a demonstrator or joining as a demonstrator. So it comes with the platform and the big plate, which we're going to use right now. I've got my XO on the big plate, and you'll notice the little magnets. I love that they are, they're rare earth magnets, so they're still really strong, and they will snap together. You can't pinch yourself on them quite the way you could on the Stamparatus magnets. But they do want to be together, all right? But now with the little handles, they're not so hard to handle. They've got handles, so they're not hard to handle. And they're very easy to pick up with those little tabs. You get 2 magnets. I'm hoping Stampin' Up will offer more magnets. And I'm also hoping that maybe they will offer more plates like they did with the Stamparatus. That was one of the things I love best about the Stamparatus is you could set it up. You could use it both ways. You got 2 of these and you could buy more. So I am hoping that they will have more of these because when I'm stamping, just like with a stamp on a block, I don't want to keep taking this off of one block. That's why I have 99 blocks, right? To use the block with another stamp. So I'm hoping that Stampin' Up! gets that and will offer more of these. But there are not magnets or more plates yet. That's one of the most common questions. All right, so I got it all set up and ready to stamp. I got a little scrap of white. And so some of the things that I find important with a stamp positioner is, one, I like to use my little scraps because if I were going to get a block and stamp this, I would get the smallest scrap I could find. I wouldn't go find a big sheet to put a whole sheet on my stamp positioner. So the first thing I tested was, how does it work with a little scrap like that? How easy is it to line up? How well does the magnets hold it? And I'm finding that the magnets are maybe not quite as strong. On top of being protected, I don't know if they're as strong, or maybe it's the platform that isn't as magnetic. So the one thing that I've learned so far is that when I stamp, I'm just pressing just ever so lightly and watching the stamp make contact with the paper. It kind of changes. You can see that it made contact with the paper and not mashing it down on there. And then the next thing I'm doing is I'm not just letting it pop back. I found that if I just ease the pressure off, then the stamp comes away from the paper because photopolymer sometimes sticks a little bit more slowly. If it pulls the paper up with the stamp, it tends to break that suction a little bit more gently, and then the paper will fall back into the same place. Because the next thing that's super important to me is being able, with a stamp positioner, to get my solid images extra solid. Do you know what I mean? So I like to do the ink, stamp, re-ink, stamp again until I get real solid coverage. And so if a stamp positioner can't help me do that, the number one thing I use a stamp positioner for, or like for correcting mistakes. So if you didn't have a solid image and you need to correct it, then I don't think it's a worthwhile device, because why not just stamp with a block then, right? So I'm going to show you now that I'm going to go over it again just to add a little bit more saturation, and then I'm going to let up easy so that my paper snaps right back into place, because no matter what, I feel like the paper is coming with the photopolymer stamp. But when you let it lift slowly, then the suction comes away and the paper seems to put itself back into place. Does that make sense? So you can see I went ahead and added a second layer of Misty Moonlight ink over my X and O to get it extra dark, and it's nice and clear. It's not hazy, it's not fuzzy, it doesn't look like I stuttered or jiggled. I was able to get that image right on top of itself without any issues. All right, so that was another test that I had. So there's my X and my O for my project here. And I think they look pretty darn good. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try, because you guys, I'm going to talk about it in a couple of different ways here today, but I'm really trying to be a better steward of my supplies because everything is so expensive. I'm changing the way I do things around here a little bit. I've mentioned it before that I'm not just kicking something out because it retired. You know what I mean? I'm using things a little bit longer even when they're gone. I'll try to, make suggestions about current things if I'm using something retired that might be a suitable alternative, but I'm also trying to use my things a little bit more. So here it is. This is exactly why I want more platforms, or more plates, I should say, more plates for my platform, because I don't want to take this off and put it aside so that I can put my strawberry on. I want to, while I'm doing this project, be able to grab the XOs, grab the strawberries, make a matching card, still have them on a block. Do you know what I mean? But I also want to use all of my cardstock to its very fullest potential, right? So I'm going to try and, with my Stampin' Positioner, pick up that strawberry. And then see, I didn't let it go. Did you see how I pulled it up and it was harder to snap back in place? That's why letting that release slower is really important, because if you needed to correct it, that might have made it pull out of place. So if you release that slowly, the paper's more likely to drop back into the place it came from. All right, so I've got my little scrap here still, and I've got my strawberry, and going right in between the magnets. Everything seems like it's gonna go just fine. So I'm gonna flip and I'm going to ink. That's how I've found is the best way. You ink the stamp by bringing the ink pad to it. If you try to hit this ink pad with this great big plate, it really makes for uneven inking. And if you do the symbol monkey makes ink all around it on your plate. So just, you need a little extra space for it. But if you had your Stamparatus, you would have this hinged anyways, right? So put the plate and then bring the ink to it. You'll get your best image that way. And speaking of my Stamparatus, I still love it. I'm definitely more familiar with working with it. I would not necessarily buy this one. Because I have a Stamparatus, I'm not to the place where I'd be like, oh yeah, you got to have this one too. I'm going to play with it more because I think tiling and things like that, I think I'm going to be happy to own both positioners. But as of right now, I don't think that you need to run to purchase this one. Hey, and the other thing is, if I was thinking about being a demonstrator anyways, I would take advantage of getting this one for free, especially if I had a Stamparatus already. Because the Stamparatus will do all this job, right? But wouldn't it be nice to have it and try it and do it for free? So that's, in a customer mindset, I wouldn't be running to purchase this yet. I have to see more. I have to do more. I have to be convinced more. But if I was thinking about joining, I probably would join and grab it up for free while it's being offered. All right, so there it is. Some of the most important things that I need to do, which is use the smallest scraps and not have a issue with that in the positioner ink. Stamp again to get those nice solid images. It all works very well for me. All right, so then the other thing that I'll show you before we go on is there are two plates. There's a small plate and a large plate. So that would give me the opportunity there if I wanted to keep my X and O on. I could have just lined up my strawberries so that I could pick it up on the small platform, and I'd have small plate, I'd have two working plates at one time. Still not enough considering I have 99 blocks, but you can set up two and use them. This plate uses the small pegs across the top. This plate uses the big corner springy pegs. All right, so for the big plate, you've got springy feet and then holes at the top with springy pegs. For the little plate, you have 4 springy feet, and the pegs use these holes at the top. So you can do different repeat stamping techniques with this. So if you wanted to tile, say you wanted to have a row of strawberries across this scrap. So I could take my strawberry, and it's inky, so I'm gonna put it backwards, but just bear with me. Could put my strawberry, and then I could, let's go. I could pick it up, and then I could stamp it, and then pick it up, move over, stamp it again, and stamp a row of them evenly spaced and level across a card or scrapbook page. Yes, you can use this on 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 because there is no raised edge around it. There's no like a guide that you put the paper against. It's completely smooth and flat from edge to edge, so your paper can hang off in any direction, left, right, or front. This across the back means that you can't necessarily get straight in the middle of a bigger page, or but it's been a very fun tool to use. It's very high quality. The improvements over the Stamparatus are definitely these handles, these magnets that, yeah, they come together pretty fast, but they're not going to kill you. Let's see here. Kathy says, I had to buy one just to try to use my Stampin' Rewards, right? I think that if you've got a Stamparatus already, free is a great way to get this. So join up on the team, use your Stampin' Rewards. Those are great ways to get to try this one. And isn't it nice that Stampin' Up! Has those options? And what a fun way to introduce and promote a new product. All right, so let me put that aside. I'll come back to your comments in a minute. I'm going to color my strawberry really quick. Let's see. It's the construction itself is I'm very pleased with the quality of it. I love that there's grid paper. Like I said, I hope that there's going to be some more accessory options, but really, really cool. If you've got any questions about joining Stampin' Up, you guys, if you've been thinking about it, but you're just not sure, you want to talk about, like, what does it all entail? You want to, get all your questions answered, please reach out to me. My phone number is everywhere. I text. You can call me, email me. I'm always really happy to talk about the opportunity and about my kitchenettes team. You guys, my team is in the last several months really been, I don't know, we've been connecting and having such a good time together. So if you want to talk about the community you'd be joining, which is hard to see from the outside, or if you've got questions about being a demonstrator, you just want to talk about it before you pull the trigger, please reach out. It's one of the best decisions I ever made, that's for sure. Okay, so I used Granny Apple Green for the top of my strawberry. I'm going to use Strawberry Slush for the fruit, and I'm going to do a pretty traditional light, dark, light blend. I'm going to leave a little place. This is always the hardest for me, is to not blend everything to a solid medium, but instead to leave highlights and not be afraid of the dark. I always say more shadows, don't be afraid of the dark. So I'm going to leave a white spot, put a little shadow where the leaves, make a shadow on the fruit. And then that contour, when you're doing Stampin' blends, you want to put a contour because the berry's round, and the farther away around the curve that it goes from the eye, the darker it's going to appear. So add a little shadow on the contour, cast shadow under the leaves, and then just gently bring that together. And then kind of layer light on top of light so that it goes from dark and kind of fades into light. But don't forget a highlight. I'm going to leave that highlight alone because I have a tendency to blend to medium. So I'm going to leave that highlight, and then I'm going to go back and even add a little bit more dark so we can give this strawberry some shape. All right, and then when you're go out of the lines, you can always just push it back. I went out of the lines from the red part into the green, but I'm just going to take a little light Granny Apple Green and push the strawberry slush back. So there's our strawberry, our X's and O's. I don't have a die for X's and O's. This is from the Endless Love. We've used that a lot, but there isn't die for this one. There's little ones like this, but I want mine cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, and let's chit chat while I do that. I've just got a self-healing mat. This is from the Oval Cropper. Shaping Memories, the Oval Cropper. I think I've had this since 19 98. If you guys know the oval cropper, say something. It was a tool that you twisted with a little razor and cropped your pictures into ovals. That's how long I've had this one. And I'm just using a craft knife. There is a craft knife attachment for your take your pick tool. And I think that that's pretty amazing, but I have just constantly forgotten to order it. So I'm going to have to and give a review of it, let you guys know if it is as nice and as easy to use as your standard X-Acto, but this is optional. I had to cut the inside out of the O. So my question for the chat is, are you like me? Do you have to cut the inside out, or would you have just left it? And I'm going to just fussy cut my X and O's. All right, let's see here. Yes, we definitely need extra plates, big and small, right? I'm hoping that Stampin' Up will offer those right away at the hard launch of this product. It's kind of a soft launch right now. If you are a current Stampin' Up demonstrator, you can pre-order this Stampin' Positioner. If you are not a demonstrator, but you would like to become one, you can have it for free. Just join my Kitchenettes team, and Stampin' Up will throw it in on your starter kit order starting in February. Or if you are a customer who has no intention of becoming a demonstrator, why not? Serious. Being a demonstrator is more fun. But if you have no intention of being a demonstrator, Stampin' Up has said that the Stampin' Positioner will be released to customers in the future. We haven't gotten any solid communication about that. I'm wondering if it'll be released to customers in May with the annual catalog, maybe. Don't know for sure. So if you're really highly interested, just pre-order it if you're a demonstrator, or join my team. All right, so we got our X's and our O's, our X and O, I should say. Now, just because I'm going to ask another question for the comments doesn't mean you guys are off the hook for the other one. I still want to know, would you have X-Acto knife, would you have cut out the center or left it? And then the other question I have for you for the comments is this hugs and this kisses? Is O the hug and X the kiss? Or is this hugs and this kisses? Is X the hugs and O the kisses? Because I really messed myself up overthinking it. So I'd like to know what you guys think. Let's see here. Sue says, how much does it cost? I want to say $49.99. Hang on, I'm going to look really quick at what I paid for it. I think that's it, but I'm going to look it up. And if Jana or Joyce are in the comments, they might get it before I do, but I think $49.99. I could be wrong. Let's see here. Corinne says, cute box. Thank you. Jan says, love that sweet. Oh, isn't it so amazing? Let me get the die and cut that out. I want to look at the comments first. Dolores says it's in my cart. Oh, Dolores, how much is it? $49.99. Mystery Stamping Monday night for team members too, right? That's my friend Kathy up in the comments. Kathy and I host Mystery Stamping together, and we just have so much fun. You guys, it's so much fun being a kitchenette. I love you, Kathy. Thank you for doing Mystery Stamping with me. Let's see. I appreciate using supplies we have. It helps us not to feel lost with what we buy. Oh, good. I love that feedback, Regina, because this has been a hard, change for me, because I've been very much like, if it's not current, don't use it. And for so many reasons, but that's got to change. It does. I can't tell you how many of you have told me this year that you have too much stuff. So what do you do with that too much stuff? I'm going to keep bringing some things out from time to time and keep supporting those things that I've purchased, because I know you have too. Gail says, I like the idea of running words across or down a page without having to move the paper. Nice and straight, more options for spacing. and more options for spacing. Absolutely. And with 2 different plates, I'm really hoping that Stampin' Up! Will give us another one of these plates, because things like let me go get it so you guys can see what I'm talking about in case you can't pull it up in your memory banks without looking. This like dots and stripes. So like you could put one of these on and stamp it every other, and then put a skinny one on another plate and stamp it instead of every other, like doing 2, 2, 2. You could go with a skinnier one, like over one jump, and then have an alternating pattern. So there are such opportunities here that I think are easier than the hinge jumping. So you can, with your Stamparatus, jump hinges. But having the little platform where you can jump, use 1 and 2, and then use 3 and 4, but on the next round use 2 and 3, I think that this is going to make more repeat patterns, stripes, plaids, things like that, so much easier to do on top of repeating words. And for those of you who are wondering, I haven't put up a sample or put together a sample yet. You might have made your wreath templates with the Stamparatus, and all of those wreath techniques work with this one too, with the Stampin' positioner. So you're really not losing anything from one positioner to the other in terms of function. And I think that Stampin' Up! Really did fill the void with a product that is just as high a quality and isn't lacking any functions. You're not giving up any functions. So it's a good positioner. I'm really happy with it. I'm glad that I purchased it, even though I have my Stamparatus. And I would have really liked to have gotten it for free with a starter kit instead. You know, the sad part is if you're already in, you don't get all the when you're in, you get a lot of benefits, right? You get a lot of perks, a lot of access, but sometimes I'd like to get a new starter kit because that's just the best. All right, so I cut out my strawberry. Let's look some more at some comments. And I'm going to keep in the comments here because stamping with you guys is my favorite part of my week. So bear with me here. We're going to make our box next, but I want to see. Jen says, love the grid paper. It's amazing. It's going to be fun for just working in a small space too. That big pad is sometimes cumbersome. So to have a little pad or a little sheet, if you're working with somebody else and the table's starting to get cluttered and everybody's stuff is coming out, it's also nice just to use it as a small grid paper. I've missed the small grid paper from the Stamparatus. Let's see here. I've always thought that X is kisses, O is hugs. And Gail says O is hugs. Jan confirmed $49 for the Stampin' Positioner. Demonstrators, you can buy it for $49. New demonstrators, you can get it free next month. No, Kathy said X is hugs and O is kisses. XO is hugs and kisses. X is kisses, O is hugs. See, you guys aren't helping. I kept going round and round and round with that. I thought that O was hugs, like you put your arm around and you make a hug, and X was kisses, like a smooch when you come bring your lips together and you smooch. But then when I saw that the sentiment said hugs and kisses, I put, where's my thing? I put the O there for the hugs and the X for the kisses, but then it was all glued down and I said, oh, did I do that right? So come on, keep it up in the comments. Is O a hug or is X a hug? Is O a kiss or is X a kiss? Corinne says, I want the burger set coming out. Oh, I got it, girlfriend. I can't wait to use it. My husband's a big griller. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Marisa Alvarez at stampinup.net, click join, and then fill in like you're going to buy a starter kit. You don't have to go all the way through, but if you feel like you're going to buy a starter kit, then you can actually see behind the curtain what demonstrators can see for pre-order. So if you want to see the pre-order stuff, that's the hack. If you're not a demonstrator and you want to see the pre-order stuff, go marisa.alvarez.stampinup.net, click join, put in your email and follow the prompts. And then when you start to select your starter kit, you can see all the pre-order stuff. Let's see here. And Gail reminds us that that $49 for demonstrators right now is the cost minus your distributor discount. So don't forget, when you put that $49 item in the cart, you get $4.90 Stampin' Rewards demonstrators. And then besides the $4.90 Stampin' Rewards you get at the end of the purchase, it takes 25%, 20 or 25% off of that $49. So it costs less than $49, but you get Stampin' Rewards at the full price. So it does, being a demonstrator is just better. Dolores says, I'm selling my old stuff. Let's see here. Definitely need more plates and magnets. Jan, I'm with you. Sandy says, I think it's much more sleeker and not as bulky as the Stamparatus. I don't think it's as heavy as the Stamparatus. That's for sure. It does fit in the Stamparatus bag, but the bag won't zip. It's a little bit longer. So width-wise it fits. Length-wise you can only zip up to it. It's a solution for now, not forever. I hope they have a bag for it. Debbie says, X is kiss, O is hug, according to Google. And Nancy said I did it right. Googled X is kisses and O's are hugs. So Google says I had it right the first time and I shouldn't have overthinked it. Alexa says X is kiss and O is hug. So Alexis and Google are on the same page, but I'm not on the same page as myself, I think is what we're saying. All right, let's build this thing and then I'll take a look at some comments on YouTube. I want to show you real quick how I built out my shadow box. It's very easy. It looks a little like an engineering work of marveling action, but it's not very difficult. So if you're just joining me, let me switch my view because I got to see where I'm at really without delay. We are going to make a shadow box, and the shadow box has a belly band that pulls off, and then in this shadow box you can put 3, I've got lip smackers. I love my lip smackers, especially at Valentine's. Well, who am I kidding? The red and green ones make cute Christmas, and the yeah, they're just a whole lot of fun. They're a fun little treat to give that's not candy. And so let's go ahead and build the shadow box. You know, I'm going to keep it apart so you can see where we're going. All right, so this piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock is 8 1/8 by 7 3/8. And don't worry, the printable project sheet will be on the blog for you. And we're going to score all 4 sides. Let me show you this too, because the picture of this will be in the template picture. Will be in the project sheet because this is a good visual. But we're going to score all 4 sides at 1/2, 1 1/8, 1 5/8, and 2 1/4. So we're going to do that all the way around. We're going to do it 4 times. 1/2, 1 1/8, 1 5/8, and 2 1/4. All right, so you get all the way around. Not just 2 times, go 4 times. Then on this 8 1/8 inch side, you're going to score at 2 1/4, but you're going to stop at the second intersecting score line. You're going to move down to 5 3/8 and score, but stop at the second intersecting score line. So I think that with the sunlight coming in, it's picking that up pretty nicely, the scores, but you see that those 2 are just partial. Okay, flip it to the other 8 1/8 inch side, score down to the second score line at 2 3/4, and then score down to the second score line at 5 3/8. And again, same thing. All right, now we're gonna work those scores with a bone folder, all the full score lines. You're not gonna do anything with the partial score lines. Those are actually cutting guides. And so let us go around the box. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I want to show you guys that too. So sometimes when I'm scoring and burnishing, you might notice that I score, then I burnish one way, and then I burnish the other way. And the reason why I do that, and I think it's maybe because it's been so cold, it's been below 0 here. It's been below freezing for, I don't know, probably 2 weeks now, and below 0 for several days. So what happens is everything dries out, the air dries out, well, the paper dries out too. And so sometimes you'll find that your paper will crack under the stress of being scored and folded. And it actually did on this side. Where did it crack? So you can see that it cracked right. Yeah, it looks like the camera's picking up pretty good. It actually cracked, and you don't want that on the outside of your treat box, right? So that is the reason and why I score and then burnish inside out first and then right side in. So just in case any of you have noticed that. And if you're new here and this is the first time you're watching me, that is one of the things that I do. And it does take an extra minute, but it makes the finished project so much nicer because my corners, my edges will never show that stress. Because as these paper fibers stretch, you guys, especially in this cold weather, they can cause little tearing apart at the folds. So that's why I do that. And, because then we get to chat and craft longer. All right, so now to do this, you want this 8 1/8 inch side across the top. And you're going to know that you got it because these have these big sections in the center have the score lines. If you've got it this way with no score lines here, you got it the wrong way. All right, so put those little cut guide score lines on the largest segment to the top and bottom. All right, once you've got that, then you're going to go ahead and cut on your left side. You're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 score lines. All right, so we're up 4 score lines, and we're going to cut in 3 score lines. 1, 2, 3, stop at the third one. And then we're going to take out this whole grid right here. All right, and the easiest way to do this is then to just repeat that in all 4 corners first. So we're going to go across these long panels without the short score lines, and we're going to cut up 3, 1, 2, 3 score lines, and then we're going to take out this grid right here. And what that'll do is just debulk the whole thing and make the other cuts a little less complicated. So we've got 2 corners, and now they're in our right hand. We're going to go 2 score lines from the center. 1, 2 score lines from the center, and cut that away. And then all the way to the center, get rid of that grid. And then across these large rectangles, cut up 3, rotate, and take out that grid. All right, now we're back to having those partial score lines in front of us. We've gone all the way around, taken out the grids. Now you're going to cut those partial score lines. So just go up 2 score lines like this. Okay. And so we're at this point right now. And then we're going to go from this score line to this corner. And this is going to become this mitered corner on your shadow box. So you want to make sure it's nice and tidy. Just make a nice smooth cut from those partial score lines to the corner. And then straight down to the next intersection. So now you've got this kind of weird wobbly piece right here, right? I don't even know what that looks like. It looks like a floor mat in your car, maybe. All right, so you've got your diagonal cut and you've got your tab liberated. So now you're gonna go here and cut this score line off just a little bit short. And get rid of this piece. And then here, you're gonna get rid of the score line by making a little angle cut. And don't worry, we gotta do that 3 more times. So let me show you again. Here's our partial score lines, cut down the partial score lines. Now we're going to make that mitered corner, so you want to cut a nice clean diagonal to the point where those score lines intersect, down along the score line, cut off right here, get rid of the score line, and then clean up the tab. All right, 2 more times. Pretty simple once you do it. It becomes a pattern, you know, not too hard to do. You don't want to cut this one off right here though, because this is your glue tab. So just remember that. I think that's the biggest pitfall that you'll be facing, is if you accidentally cut off this one square right here, then you've cut off your glue tab. So be careful to leave that. So down 2 score lines, angle to the next score line, cut down to the last score line, remove this, and clean it up. Good? You guys following me so far? I'm gonna get some tear and tape and some liquid glue to put this together, and check and make sure you're following me on the comments. Let me know. Is it easy enough? Let's see here. Kathy says, when I was a little girl, my grandma would send me letters with X's at the end. The O's came later, a few years for hugs. Oh, see, it's sentimental, isn't it? I noticed my inks drying out. I had to reorganize my crafty goodness to get them in a warmer spot. That's interesting. Yeah, I've always stored ink at room temperature, but never thought about like if you've got a particularly cold or drafty area. Like I don't put them into storage. They don't go into a garage or attics or crawl spaces, or, you know, they always stay at room temperature. Even ones that I think eventually I'll sell, I still don't put them out into any kind of a storage because of that. But I didn't think about like just a cold space in the house would cause them to have some issues. That's a good tip. Keep your inks warm. Give them a longer life, I guess. Sue says, I just got a kitchen table stamper delivery. Hooray, hooray. Oh, let me tell you what lengths I had to go to make that happen this week. And without the help of Jen and Joyce, I don't know when anybody would get kitchen table stamper deliveries. I've got an amazing mailroom crew. I mean, they wear more hats than mailroom, if you only knew. Let's see here. Happy crafting, my friend. I hope you enjoy the craft. Let's see here. Shanna says, I rarely get to watch live. Shh, I'm at work. Oh my gosh, we'll try to keep it down, but this project's pretty exciting. Let's see here. Margaret says, I'm glad you pointed out the way you placed XO as OX to go hugs and kisses. I wouldn't have thought of that detail. I thought about it, but then overthought it. It was crazy. So I'm glad you guys are letting me know I did okay. Oh, and Sue says that her ink pads were under a vent, so she had to move them. Man, oh man. The lengths we have to go to keep our stash happy, huh? All right, so let's start with some tear and tape. I think it's best to use both adhesives for this. And the first thing I like to do is put some on the tabs. This helps me keep track of what's going where and makes the like initial shape of the shadow box, which really helps guide where all the other pieces, where the glue goes, where the tear and tape goes. This is how I like to do my shadow boxes. I also feel like it gives me the nice tightest corners. I have definitely had experience with shadow box type boxes where the corners just don't want to get tight enough and they look a little sloppy. So bear with me and I'll show you my technique here and show you how I get the tightest possible corners and miters on this type of a treat box. It's a beautiful detail. Even when you get the belly band back around the box, the corners show a little bit. It makes it different from all the other treats we've done in this series and probably a lot of treat boxes that you might have made or that I have made, definitely. So I love the detail of the mitered corners and how they peek out from behind the belly band. So let's give them the best chance we can give them at being show worthy, because they are really kind of the star of the show on this box. All right, so I take off all of my adhesive, and you'll notice that I did do a double strip. This is completely coated in adhesive. I like the dry adhesive for this because it's going to grab right away. And so when I make a nice square corner, that is set in place. So that's a good start for getting our best, tightest mitered corners. All right, and then I'm going to go all the way around and put these corners up and make sure that they're nice and square and burnished down nice and tight. Then the next thing I like to do is work 1/2 of the box at a time. So once I've got my corners, then I will take and do the adhesive for the shadow box edges. So we're going to put some adhesive along the score line on these tabs, and this part goes to the outside of the box. The other thing is too, if you follow me, you know that I kind of get lost, the outside and inside. Angles make me a little cross-eyed. I have a hard time finding my way. I told you before, I don't put pattern paper on a box until the box is assembled most of the time, especially if it's a directional paper, because I kind of lose track of, once the box gets folded up, what side is out, what side is up. So I like to bring my corners up, because then the next adhesive goes to the outside, but it rolls to the inside. You see, and with that rolling to the inside part, it's easier for me to keep track of where it really goes once the corners are up. All right, then I'll work 1/2 of the box at a time. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the liner on this. You notice it's completely rectangle. There's no angles here at all. It's the bottom front of the box. And I'm going to fold down my adhesive so it's away from me, and then roll it forward and then square this up. So now I've got a big square, and I'm kind of pulling away so you can see. And the adhesive is between this flap here and the bottom of the box. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to kind of gently burnish that with the bone folder and make sure that it's made contact. Now this guy I'm going to put out here for a minute and just make sure everything's going to come up nice and tight, looking pretty good. All right, and let's do the same thing on the other side. We're going to remove the liner and roll this guy in. So I'm going to fold that away, fold at the next one, and at each one that you fold, you roll away from yourself, make it square up, and then turn it over and just lightly burnish with the bone folder. Encourage that adhesive to grab. You could use liquid glue there, but then you'd have to hold it for a minute until it was firm. And you do run the risk of streaking the liquid glue as you tuck in, as you roll in. So I do like the dry adhesive for that, because it's neater and it grabs right away. All right, so now we're going to do 1/2 of our box at a time. So I'm going to remove this right here from one side, and then I'm going to grab a little liquid glue, and I'm going to put a very thin bit right in this triangle. Now you don't want this to ooze out. Less is more. So once you've got some on there, then use the nozzle of the glue to spread it all around. So you're looking for a very thin coat right in that triangles right there. Okay, now you're going to do the same thing you did with the other. Fold the adhesive away from you, and then fold at the next score line, and then roll and fold at the next score line. Get that to grab at the bottom and pull these corners in nice and tight. And now you're going to burnish this liquid glue and hold this for a second. And you didn't put too much glue, so it's not seeping out. You pulled those corners nice and tight, and you're holding it for a minute until the glue grabs. You can just lightly burnish it. And don't rush this part. A little tiny bit of glue spread thin across that whole triangle area, and then holding it till it has a chance to grab is going to give you really nice tight corners. Now that you've got a really nice tight corner, turn it over. You can gently run your bone folder where that adhesive is at the bottom and the other half of the box. So we're going to, I'm going to do this because I want that glue to be wet when it hits the other glue. The multi-purpose liquid glue, if you bring wet glue paper together with wet glue, it's a permanent bond. If this dries, then you get like a Post-it note, and it's a repositional bond. So it is important to do both sides. One side first, then the other, so that this glue is wet. It's a thin coat, but it's not dried out, because if it's dried out, this will just spring away, like if it was held together with a Post-it. All right, so we're going to do again. And this is lots of learning with this little piece of the puzzle right here. Lots of trying, lots of learning, lots of boxes where the corners didn't come together, and I was frustrated because it looked sloppy. But you can see that glue's wet. We're going to fold the adhesive away from us, fold at the next score line as we roll the box in, tucking, rolling, tucking, rolling, kind of like how I drop off kids at school. I slow down and they tuck and roll. Hold those corners nice and tight and burnish them. And it's definitely a very interesting box that I think is more simple than it looks with those little techniques to get those corners tight. You'll have a nice picture frame, pretty little shadow box. All right, so we're gonna put that one aside and let it dry for a minute and put some lip smackers in. So I want them ombre. Got my sweet little strawberry bubble gum. And I went for an ombre effect here that I thought showed off the designer paper the best. Cotton candy. Those are all original flavors, by the way. All right, let's now grab our sample back in here. So I'm going to leave this one before I start stuffing lip balms in there. That one's going to become our sample, so it can just dry a little bit before we fill it. And this is our end result. So let's work on this guy. All right, so how are you guys doing? Did you guys get that? How do you feel about shadow boxes? Who's going to try one? Oh, Kathy already says, I really need to try one. I try to make one of these boxes. They're so, they look intimidating, but they're really so easy. All right, next up is our designer series papers. This, if you missed it at the beginning, we're sneak peeking some March pre-order designer series papers. So if you're a demonstrator, you can pre-order this now. If you're not a demonstrator, you can join in February and put homemade sweetness in your starter kit and pick that up. Or if you're just set on you're never going to be a demonstrator, that's okay too. Customers make the world go round, and I love you guys. That's okay. You will be able to pick up this paper in March, I think March 3rd. All right, so I've got my tailored tag punch, and I'm going to do some chicken lips on my paper. And what I did was I did these 7/8. This one is 7/8 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to get a little more generous when I cut off the chicken lips. And then this one is 1 inch by 3 3/4. And I'm going to cut the chicken lips at the very edge, just leave as much as I can there because I'm looking for 2 pieces, one a little bit shorter than the other. So I just did that process at the chicken lip stage instead of at the cutting stage. I started with 3 3/4 for both strips. And then, I want my flower one just a little bit shorter than my gingham one. So I'm going to give this one a little haircut. All right, and you can, of course, do this with a square punch. You can do it with a pair of scissors. There's other options for that, but I've become addicted to my tailored tag punch. And then this one is 3 1/8 by 8 1/2. Okay, the measurements are on the project sheet. Let's see how you guys are doing. I really need to try to make one of these. Jan's going to try it for sure. Sue says, my first lip smacker was a jumbo peppermint lip smacker. Oh, do you remember the jumbo ones? Those are like, yeah, I won't even say, like, it'll date me too much. Those are definitely, they were really a thing when I was in junior high, those jumbo ones. Rebecca, hey, my friend. Rebecca says, I did a shadow box 2 years ago from scratch. What a trial and error time that was. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys this shadow box. I haven't done it in a while, but I did one for my Love of Leaves class. That was my trial and error from scratch. Because I really do feel like I have an ethical duty to work out my own templates if I'm going to present them as my own, right? I don't really watch other people. Of course, I am in the world of social media. Things show up, ideas, how to close a box or how to, but I feel like I have an ethical duty to figure it out myself, and present my own measurements. And so that was mine. It was like Captain Ahab's whale. In fact, it was kind of traumatic figuring it out myself, and I haven't really done one since. So, but this one was nice and easy because I just looked at what I had figured out before and said, hey, how do I make it fit 3 of them? So that's a little behind the scenes. When I'm doing a box with a belly wrap or a belly band, I don't like to score it because then you have to measure all the 16ths, and I don't like doing that. So what I do is I just take my belly band and wrap it around my project. And then once I got it nice and square, I'll just pinch the fingers together, put the corner there, and run kind of like a soft score. Then turn to the front, run a soft score across the front of the project, and then I'll use my bone folder to get those nice crisp score lines. All right, so how I do that is first I find the bone folder that I lost. There it is. And I'm going to square up my paper so that the edges match and work that score with the bone folder. The problem is here is you want to be careful because I am not doing the inside out scoring. So I want to be careful. If you've noticed that the paper is cracking, do it inside out first and let any cracking or stretching happen on the inside of the belly band, and then flip it around because your designer series paper is much more likely to do that cracking than the cardstock, and because of the white core, it'll be more apparent on the project. So do it inside out first if you have any reason to believe it might crack, or just do it as a matter of habit, because there we go. All right, now for my belly band, I need tear and tape, and let me show you how I do that, because I am not covering an entire seam. Like, there's nothing that goes to edge to cover the seam, so I want the seam all the way at the side, right? So when I started my paper, when I started my soft scores, I put my edge all the way, and that's going to be the outside. So behind the outside of my belly band, I put a strip of tear and tape. And then I want the shorter to fold in so that there's not a seam running down the back of my box. So I'm going to fold in the shorter side. And on the side that's folded in, I put a strip on the outside. So the one that's getting hidden, the adhesive goes on the outside of the designer series paper. And the one that's covering, it goes on the back. So front gets tucked in, and then the back gets burnished down. And now I've got a nice belly band that's tight enough to stay, loose enough to slide, but also has a nice finish on the back side. And like I had said to you, the belly band leaves those cute little mitered corners still showed off. I love it. I hope you like it too. Got one more little sneak peek product for you. These are Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink, and I cut them with the Endless Love dies. All right, so here's our little dies from Endless Loves to help you identify them if you're making them, but you know you've seen this one before on our No One's Better Than You box. All right, so then I'm going to add a little texture to my pink heart. And do not remember the name of my embossing folder because I don't remember names as good anymore. So I'm just looking to see if I can find it really quick. No, I might ask you guys in the comments to pop up the name of this one if you know it. But this is the embossing folder that is part of this whole suite. It goes with the designer series paper and the bundle, the homemade sweetness and filled with sweetness. It's really, really cute. 3D. It's got little ladybugs and daisies. And I'm just going to run this through. It's a little detail and most of it's getting covered up. So if you're making a bunch of these, maybe you're going to real quick get started and order some lip balms on Amazon. Do them for all the granddaughters or all the nieces. And if that's the case, you might want to, you could skip this step because it is getting covered. But I kind of wanted to try my new embossing folder. That's really what happened, is I wanted to try my new embossing folder. So I'm going to pop my heart in where I get the most action. And then I'm going to run it through and put some texture on that heart die cut. It is definitely one of those above and beyond details that you could skip if you're doing a bunch of them. But once you see how cute this is, you're going to want to just do it for fun. Just make you smile. All right, slide over, guys. 3D folder gets one. The folder with the paper. Platform is one. And then 4 over the top. Come on, guy. You could do it. Did you see me? I'm doing it left-handed. Okay. Then, wait till you see how cute. Oh my gosh, wait till you see how cute. I don't know. Let me switch views because I want to see how, yeah. Do you see how deep the impression is? Those little ladybugs and how detailed? Let me get my other hand out of there and see if it'll focus. There. Little antennas, the dots on the back, and there you go. And the flowers aren't quite as deep as the bugs. The flowers look like they're shorter, right? Just a cool embossing folder, you guys. I don't know where I put my March online exclusive printout, so I can't tell what the name of this one is. I'm looking one more time just for the heck of it. Ah, there it is. Okay, hang on. Let me tell you what the name of that one is. Somebody might have already gotten it. Ladybug Picnic 3D embossing folder. You need it. You're welcome. It's so cute. All right, let's get some dimensionals. Let's get some. All right, so how'd I do this? I put my strips on with liquid glue, so let's do that. And then I double dimensionaled. It's kind of nutty but that's how I roll. And so I'm going to dimensional the heart onto the tag, and then I'm going to dimensional the tag onto the box. So let's just do that. And there we go, and there we go. And nobody likes a saggy middle, so we'll go there. All right, let's see, I need some liquid glue. And I need to see how you guys are doing. That's a fun embossing folder. Isn't it great? And Jackie says, hi there, I have to go grocery shopping, but I don't want to. Thanks for being on so I can stall. Oh, Jackie, the sky's blue and the snow's not falling anymore here. Is it the same by you? Has the snow stopped? Ladybug Picnic, you guys were right on it. Hey, Tony. Hello, my friend. Thanks for popping in with that. Is it not the cutest folder? I am just head over heels for it. Oh, and then look, here's the Ladybug Picnic pattern in designer paper. So cute. Margaret says, yes, need to try this box. So smart and easier than it looks. Especially, you've got a lot of the tips that I learned the hard way. Yeah, just shared a lot of things that I learned the hard way. So I think that you'll have a pretty easy time of it. If you guys make this shadow box and you find something else that fits, you know, maybe one without lip balm, find something else that fits, please let us know and share in the Craft Social. You guys, we love to see what you're doing in the Craft Social. Craft Social is our community. It's for my team, but it's also open for anybody, demonstrator or not demonstrator alike, to share what you make. Couple rules. What you make should be made primarily with Stampin' Up! Supplies. Please don't promote yourself, any other demonstrator, or any other crafting company. Don't link away from the Craft Social. It's a place to stay and play. And no buy, sell, trade. No in search of, none of that. And if you can follow those simple rules that make our community a better place anyway, then we want you there. We want to see what you're making. I share tons and tons and tons of great templates with instructions and PDFs. And if you're making them, please come over and show us what you make. We have challenges every week. Sometimes they're related to a live event. So I might do a card class or something and then say, hey, let's see your take on it. And we're also stamping through the alphabet with our Stampin' Up! Supplies. So if you're feeling like you've got too much stuff and you don't use it enough, come and join us. We're on letter P right now. So any Stampin' Up! Supply with the letter P, find it, use it, share. There are prizes. But yeah, we definitely want to see it. If you make it, come and share. Kathy says, I love all your tips. Hey, thanks. Oh, who's here? Stephanie. Hey, my friend. I'm so glad to see you. She says, was just able to jump on. Don't worry. There's a replay if you want to see how to make this cute little shadow box. I'm going to tie a little bow. Normally with a tag, I thread through and tie it. I don't know exactly why I didn't this time. I stuck it on with a glue dot. So some of you closest to me are going to be like, what? You had an opportunity to tie it on and you sticked it on? Like, I usually don't stick on a bow if there's anywhere to tie it to. Maybe you've noticed. Maybe you're subconsciously had noticed it. So this is really unlike me, but it's what I did. So I'm doing it again, but you can of course loop through there and tie it. But I'm just got a little bow and I'm going to put a glue dot and stick it on the top here. This is the Misty Moonlight and White starter pack. It's actually the same ribbon that I used for this one. So it's fun to use both ribbons. And again, I'm using my stuff. And I'm hoping that you will too. All right, now where is our X's and O's? Because you remember we stamped those and cut those a long time ago, and now I'm like, don't know exactly what I did with them. I'm going to try to clean up a little bit and find them. And while I do that, I'm going to let you see another little thing here. So inside of my Granny Apple Green scrap envelope. I had some short versions of the bow builder punch. So here's where one of the ways that you're going to see me use things. So this one's retired. This was just little short ones that I was probably punching and tucking under something else. And when I save things, oh, I found my X. I'm still looking for my O. When I save things like that, I had been only using them if the product was still available. So I just throw my stuff in an envelope like this, and it's labeled. And those were just sitting in there. And normally once the product retired, or in the past, once the product retired, I would throw those things away. Those, what I call the graveyard or the head start. Sometimes I call that a head start. But in the past, I'm a demonstrator, right? And it was a business expense. I didn't use it while I could sell the product. And I didn't want you to feel frustrated that you couldn't recreate it the same way that I stamped it, right? But now with products coming and going so quickly, and with cardstock cost going up and up and up, I'm not going to do that anymore. And so I hope that you don't find it frustrating. And I'll only do it when I feel like it's still something easy enough for you to find a substitute for, or I'll suggest. Come on, spit it out, Marisa. I'll suggest substitutes that you can use, but you will start seeing me use stuff. When I did this card, this is a painted textures embossing folder. I had this card base in one of those envelopes, in my pretty and pink envelope, and it was just sitting there. Painted textures is gone, but this card base is still Stampin' Up! Cardstock that I did pay a pretty penny for. So I'm going to start using those things. And at some point I'll stop making that announcement, but for right now, I just want to make sure that everybody understands and is on the same page with me. I don't want to cause any kind of frustration when you are sitting down to make the project, right? I don't want you to feel like I got something you don't have. And so I'm trying to be mindful of that with the choices that I make. Only things that are easy to substitute or still easy to follow along. But you're going to see me use them more and more. So that's from my bow builder punch, and they were just in my scrap bin. And then the other thing I've got going on here is these little flowers. So I probably did some sort of class packet or kit, and we had some extras. So I'm going to take it. It's basic white cardstock. That little flower was cut using the meant to be dies, and those just recently retired also. But for that one, so for the Granny Apple Green, hopefully you can easily come up with a little leaf out of your own collection, something tiny that you can pair with this flower. But the Filled with Sweetness dies, those have some tiny little flowers in them. So you can, if you're doing this project with the Filled with Sweetness strawberry and stuff, you can get them there. But there's lots of places to get those things. Little leaves, little flowers. You can substitute embossing folders. And so I'm, like I said, it's not to be frustrating, and I hope it doesn't feel frustrating to you guys, but instead, hopefully it feels encouraging and empowering for you to do the same thing and use your stuff, you know? All right, so I've got my little flower from white and my little Granny Apple Green leaves and one X. I can't find my O, which is making me bonkers. Pardon me. I might have to restamp my O, you guys. I'm checking my sleeves and everything right now. I should have put it somewhere a little safer, I guess. I'm going to keep working and hope that it reveals itself anyways, because I still have to stamp Hugs and Kisses and do a couple other things, and I'll kind of scan and tidy as I go. Let's see if I can spot it. And of course it was the O, so I'd have to cut out the middle again. Do you guys cut out the middle? I have a little scrap here that I could use for it. I have so much fun reviewing my stash to see what aligns with your designs. Wow, that rhymed. It sure did. All right, so I'm gonna assemble this little flower on some glue dots. That's where I'll start. And I've lost my glue dots. Now, here we go. All right, so what I did was I just grabbed the little flower, put it on a glue dot. I took this tiniest little leaf. So see, it really is, it's nothing. There's not much to it because I'm only taking off the smallest little leaf. But I think it adds a nice little finish, a nice little pop of color. So I'm going to put that one on the next leaf, and then I'm going to put my flower on top of that. Which ones do I want? I think I want, is that how I had it? Yeah, that is how I had it. And so I think I'm going to go like that. So now I've got one leaf on there. And then I'm going to tear off this little leaf, and I'm just building up the leaves behind the flower. And then I'll put this little guy on a glue dot, pick up this, and put it so that the little leaf peeks out. And so now I think my flower is a little more exciting, and just pick and stick. Some fun little detail, right? Oh, somebody make me an O. I don't know. You know I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to make another O and do it anyways. So the question is, do I put it all together and then after I end this broadcast make another O? Or do you guys want to hang out with me while I make another O? Let's see. Oh, you know what? I have a practice one over here that doesn't look too bad. At least it's stamped. Maybe that's what we'll do, is I won't have to make another O entirely because I have a practice one. It's not as good as the first one, though. Oh, I'm so sad about my O. Oh, my O. See, here's where I wish these lives had commercial breaks. Hey, Jackie, why don't you run over here and find my O while I finish this project, and then you can go to the grocery store. What do you think of that? What's February Card Club? It is Easter Joy. And you guys who got December or January Card Club, you have a sneak peek thank you card. So give you a little idea of what embellishments and how I'm using them. Hint, hint. Check out your thank you card for a sneak peek. I really don't feel like giving up on my O. So I don't know. How about them Seahawks? Let's talk football for a minute. Oh, you guys. I always lose something, but I lost the O good. I could have stamped another one at this point. All right, let me move this aside. Grab this guy. I'm going to stamp another O. Not going to lose my X while I stamp another O, though. Oh, that's all right. It's Friday. We can stamp another O. We've got all the time, right? If you guys don't have all the time, there will be a replay and you can fast forward the lost O. It's just something to laugh about, right? Okay. My platform is, I think my O and my platform ran away together. Maybe that's part of the problem. It's really not even that big of a mess anymore because I cleaned it up as I went. All right, let me look at the comments here and see how you guys are doing. What do you think of the new stamp positioner tool? Ruth, I'm very happy with it. I'm about to use it again because I lost my O. But on the replay, you'll be able to see a couple of things that I did with it. And I did give it some review. I love that Stampin' Up! Is offering it for free in the starter kits. I think it's a really good soft launch for it. If you've got a Stamparatus, you'll notice that there are some, what would I say, improvements over the Stamparatus with this one of them being these awesome handles on the magnets. They really, and the magnets are much, they're much easier to handle. No risk of injury, well, much less risk of injury with the new magnets, so I'm loving that. I do like that I can use every little scrap. I have no problem with little scraps. It's a little bit bigger than the Stamparatus, so I said that that's kind of an issue because you gotta lay this down to ink it like you would on your Stamparatus. You'd open the hinge and then bring the ink pad to the plate. It really is the best way to get ink on. Oh. It is the best way to get ink on your stamp. I got to check and see the placement. Did you see? I just put the stamp on the wrong side of the plate. There is only one side on these plates. That's where Stamparatus was a little bit better. The size is a little bit more compact, but it's heavier. The Stamparatus was heavier, so this is lighter and still just as sturdy, I think. But it's a little bit bigger width-wise. The plates only work one way. I do miss the plates that work both way with the Stamparatus. I do like it. And also notice that with the photopolymer, which are all photopolymer now, the photopolymer likes to stick and pull the paper up. So I hope there's more magnets, but one of the things that I found that kind of eases that is if you just gently let the pressure off, then the paper starts to come away from the stamp a little bit more gently. Don't help the plate up, let it come away from the paper itself. Then if you have areas that need touch up, it lines up better because the paper doesn't move as much. I really do. I'm enjoying it, and I would recommend it. The thing I do most with the stamp positioner is ink and then stamp and then re-ink, like reapply the ink to make a darker image. And it works just fine for that. You just have to be mindful of this. The stamp is going to lift the paper, and these magnets aren't as strong as the old magnets. So if you let it very gently lift away from the paper, it breaks that suction a little bit easier and allows your paper to kind of snap back into the proper place, which I really think is crucial for a stamp positioner. But it does take a little bit different technique in using it. You use it different than the Stamparatus. I love that there's no hinge for the stamp to be too close. You know how when the Stamparatus, when your stamp was too close to the hinge, it was hard to stamp the part that was closest to the hinge. So with no hinges, there's none of that. I love it. In fact, and then I had also said, I wish that I could buy another starter kit, because I really think that it's pretty awesome and pretty generous that Stampin' Up! Is giving it away to new demonstrators in February. So overall, very good thumbs up. Sorry I had to stamp my O again, but it did allow me to answer questions and talk about it and show it for people who are jumping in a little bit later on the live here. There, now we have an O. I lost my hug, but now it's back. I made another one. I'll have a head start on another hug later. It took me some practice, you guys. I had a lot of X's and O's, and I threw quite a few of them away because getting that technique where the stamp could come up away from the paper and not rip it out of place was a learning curve. So be prepared for that. All right, last little bit of stamping. Let me reunite my X and my O and keep them together so I don't lose them. I lost my strawberry over here and I can't pick it up off the table. All right, I've got to do hugs and kisses. So I got my white, my Stampin' Pierce matte, my hugs and kisses, and some Memento Tuxedo black ink. I think that anybody who purchases it will be very happy with it. And I do think it has more potential for tiling and repeat stamping than our Stamparatus had. It'll be easier to do those kinds of things. So I'm excited about it, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. All right, I need my 3 banner punch. I'm going to punch out Hugs and Kisses. Let's see here. Can I do it, or am I going to need a handle? Oh, I think I'm going to be able to do it. So just punch that little guy out. Hugs and Kisses is also from the same bundle. This. Oh, it started to snow again. Oh no. Jackie, how are you ever going to get to the grocery store? All right, let's get a little more dimensionals. A little bit of liquid glue and wrap this thing up. Guys, thanks for stamping with me on this snowy Friday. Shimika says, make a new O, LOL. I did. I couldn't even stand for I couldn't even settle for the substandard one that I had earlier. Okay, so I did double dimensionals on my box. It's a box. We could do double, we could do triple. We don't have to worry about it getting caught in mail machines. So, but we do have to remember that we have double dimensionals. So I'm going to take my Hugs and Kisses banner, and I'm going to put a half a dimensional on the Kisses side, and then I'm going to stack another half. So now I've got double dimensionals, and run my Hugs and Kisses, and I want it to go at the same angle as my designer papers. So I'm going to pop that there, but I didn't put anything here because the next is my strawberry, and on this side of my strawberry I'm going to put a touch of glue, and on the other side I'm going to put over here next to my heart a half a dimensional and double it up with another half a dimensional, and then I'm going to slide this little strawberry under the banner, and here we go. Tip it a little bit more, get that out of the way. I think that'll work. Then my X's and O's, my X and O, my long lost O, a little bit of liquid glue, and pop that on. Leave a little room for that flower. The X is going to hang off the edge a little bit, so only put glue on half. You can support that with a little piece of Stampin' Dimensional after you know where it's going to land exactly. Stick on this cute little flower. Don't cover your greeting. And then I'm going to go back with my dimensionals again. Pardon me. And I'm going to put a double dimensional right, where the Hugs and Kisses banner is on the other end of the treat. Uh-oh. I didn't take one of the the dimensional things off, so it didn't stay on that side. Oh, okay, hang on. Okay, double dimensionals. It's not that hard. There we go. All right, that one's sticky? Yeah. All right, tuck that little guy back in there. Cutie, cutie. All right, now for the Designer Series paper, I love these dots with this Designer Series paper. You guys, I think that they were made for it. They're not a perfect match. It's crushed curry that's in the paper, but there's also Calypso Coral in the paper. This is more like a petal pink, but it'll work really good with that ladybug pattern that I showed you earlier. And then the blue is, again, this is like a balmy blue, but it looks so nice with the Misty Moonlight. So check out these muted palette dots when you order up the Sweetness paper, because there's a really nice coordination there. So there's the new paper that's coming is Homemade Sweetness, and these matted ones these muted dots are from the Boho Vibes, but I think they're the perfect, I don't know, it's not a match, it's more of a coordination. So I'm going to make a flower center and then a couple of sprinkles going up from there, add a little more color. And that is it, you guys. Thanks for sticking with me while I made another O. If you're still here after the second O, you are my people. Let's see here. What do you... Margaret says, did you check the floor? I'm going to check closer after we're done here. But yes, I did. Let's see here. You'll find it now that you found a suitable replacement, right? I wish. Thanks for sticking with me while I made another one. What's February Card Club? We talked about that. And what else are you guys saying? Margaret says, same, don't want to go shopping. I have to empty my car from picking up stuff yesterday too. Kleenex, it was so cold when I got home. Kleenex, it was so cold when I got home. I left it all in my car, right? You guys, I've been driving around with bedding for the chickens in my car for a week and a half right now because I don't feel like pulling it out. And I have some in the garage already, but I don't want to get those big things. And oh gosh, it's so cold. I'm tired of being cold. Kathy says, cuteness overload. Thank you. I hope that you'll give it a try. So it's our little shadow box. If you're just joining us, hold some lip smackers, 3 of them. And hopefully you enjoyed all the sneak peeks too. So if you've got any questions about joining the kitchenettes, please reach out. Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. That's my email address. My phone number is all over the blog and everything else. You can text or call. It's a great time to join. You can get the Stampin' Positioner free in your starter kit, but that doesn't start until I think February 3rd. If I'm wrong and it's February 2nd, somebody say that. But it's the 2nd or 3rd, I think the 3rd. And in that starter kit, you can also put these new products that I sneak peeked. Do you guys want to see the other things that I ordered? Hold on. I'm gonna grab just a couple other quick sneak peek things. It's snowing and I'm feeling that Friday feeling. So hang on, I'll give you a couple more little sneakity peekities. If you're interested, hang out with me here. All right, so I didn't order a lot. It is a March online exclusives, not a full catalog. So given that it's online exclusives, I still ordered quite a bit. But let me show you. Here's the ribbon that goes with the sweetness suite. It would have been too much with the gingham paper, I think. But this is called Misty Moonlight checkered ribbon or checkered trim. It is 2-sided, so you don't have to worry about tying a single-sided bow. Kathy says, yes, sneaky peeky. And Jan did confirm that I've been saying February 3rd, and it's right. This is double-sided, and it's not, I expected it to be kind of thick and bulky because of the weave. Not at all. It's a little bit thicker than this one I just used, but still makes a beautiful bow. So I did just get the whole suite of products. Let me show you the embellishment. I got designer paper on my lap. Hold on, let me move that over there. And now is when we're going to find my O. This is the embellishments, strawberries and dots. You guys. Okay, so I'm not good at not being really straight with you guys. But I try to put it in a I try to be straight, but in a constructive and still somewhat positive way, right? So I think Stampin' Up! Kicked it out of the park with the peppermints, but I'll just say I think that they dropped the ball on the Easter eggs. And now we have the strawberries and dots, which are like those Easter eggs and the peppermints. And I'm so happy to say that I think Stampin' Up! Kicked it out of the park again on the strawberries. So they are adorable. You get Misty Moonlight, strawberry slush dots, and then tiny little strawberries. And they have that same texture as the peppermints or as the little Valentine embellishments, like that shaker stuff, but they're adhesive. I didn't use my Valentine ones at all, and I think it's because they aren't adhesive. So I love the convenience of the adhesive, the adorable high quality of the strawberries. Awesome. So that's the embellishment that goes with the suite. So now you've seen the whole thing. You've seen the bundle, the embossing folder, the embellishment, the ribbon, designer series paper. There is a scrapbooking stamp set that coordinates with it and die set. It's called Made with Sweetness. I only got the dies. And I'll tell you that I only got the dies for Made with Sweetness. The stamp set is very scrapbooky. I'll probably end up getting it though. And I will probably end up getting a second set of dies, because if I'm going to include like some strawberries or cantaloupes or lime slices, or if I'm going to die cut those for you and include them in, say, maybe a Stampin' Stick card class, it's better to have 2 sets of the dies. So I will probably get a second set of the dies with the stamp set and bundle it up. But for now, since I'm sure I'm going to get 2 sets, and then there's a big like recipe card, like a file folder or a recipe card, and then a shorter one. If I'm going to use any of those pieces in any kind of a class, I need 2 sets of this anyway, at least to get the cutting done that we need to do to support that. So I just got the dies for this one, but there is a Made with Sweetness stamp set to coordinate. Aren't those cool? Because aren't those super cool? All right, so that's those products. I did get Barbecue Master. Corrine, was it you that mentioned it? I did get Barbecue Master. There's definitely a card class on the horizon for this one. We're already pulling materials and kind of talking about this one. I think a Stampin' Stick or maybe a May card club. It could kind of go either way, you guys. So just know that I got it. I love it. I will support you with great ideas with it. This is so my husband. So I got the Barbecue Master stamp set. Let's take a look at the dies. I always like to see them, because of when you compare this to this doesn't exactly portray that, you know what I mean? So sometimes you got to open them up and take a look. So let's take a look at those, get the real size. Hello, look at the little shrimp. We're gonna do some shrimps, mushroom, and then the whole burger, all the layers, hot dog, onion, the little kebab that goes with the stamp. I love all things kitchen, like the oven mitt and the tongs and spatula and all that. I love little bottle. All right, so stinking cute. Okay, so Barbecue Master. I got Cutest Crew. This one's all over the internet already, you guys. Have you seen this one? So grab your starter kit with all these items, February 3rd, and the stamp positioner for free. I mean, this was a really good online exclusive release. And there's the matching dies. How do you guys like it so far? What's your favorite? Could be a cute card with the front. Could be a cute card with the front of the box. Absolutely, this box can definitely translate into a card easily. Let's see here. Margaret says, I love the box, and as soon as you say goodbye, the O will show up. I know, right? Lori says, do you see my message about the bunny tail? Uh-oh. No, where did you send it to me, Lori? I'll go find it and make sure I respond to you. Are you talking about the thank you card? Look at this, the little trim with paw prints, and then the little trim with the dashes. These are like, especially the dashes, that is worth the cost of admission. And look at the little guys. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have so much fun with this. I need to stamp. It's good stamping weather. All right, and then I couldn't resist the Dream Team. This is just a photopolymer stamp set, no dies. But honestly, I can't resist this good luck finding coworkers better than us. I talked to Jan and Joyce, and we're going to make cards with the plant and good luck finding coworkers better than us, so that when we've got team members, because sometimes our team members don't make the minimums, right? And then you get 1 month to make your minimum. So if you didn't make your quarterly minimum, you get 1 month to make it up, and that's called the pending month. And some people don't make their minimums, and it's okay, right? You can still buy another starter kit. It happens a lot. And so that's, I guess, since we've talked so much about the starter kit, if you've thought about getting it, but you're like, I just, I don't want a business, or I don't know if I'll make the quarterly minimum, $300 a quarter is the minimum. just know that you're not the only one, and you make the minimums for as long as you make the minimums. You make a business out of it, or you make a hobby business out of it. You do you, right? And when and if you ever don't make your minimums, and the pending month, we always work with our demonstrators to let them know where they're at and what their minimums, spending needs to be to stay active. But sometimes they don't make it. And so I want to start sending cards, and I'm going to send good luck finding coworkers better than us, and then invite my kitchenette team members to come back again sometime, because you can always come back. And nobody's going to take your starter kit away from you if you find that being a demonstrator isn't for you, or you find that in a quarter you can't make your minimums, right? Sometimes it happens, but you can come back and buy another kit, and nobody's going to take your first kit back. But so we always kind of let our demonstrators who are leaving the team for any reason, like didn't make their minimums, that they can come back. So we're going to make them good luck finding coworkers better than us cards. It's where we can put in, information about how they can keep in touch and come back whenever they want to. I don't know. If you know me well, you know that like this is so my personality, right? And then welcome to the team. I love this little coffee cup and binder clip. So the art appealed to me, but this is why I got this one. Yeah, we're going to make some cards. And then I've got 3 more things to show you guys, and then I'll let you go get to your weekend. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I like to show my pre-order things, because then you know what's coming too. You can be prepared if you're going to, or maybe it helps you make your selections when you're ordering. Natural matte dots. Let me take these out because there's white ones at the top. So I want to show you the whole thing, but I also I love these. So they're called natural matte dots, not to be confused with some of the other ones we've had. It's white, starry sky, not starry sky. What's that one called that I always call starry sky, you guys? Secret Sea. White, Secret Sea, mossy meadow, and then crumb cake. But let's see if I can get so you can see it. They're flat. They're raised, but they're flat. They're like a puck. They're like a hockey puck shape, which is going to be so nice, I think, for when you mail cards, because with the domed ones, it's always that like dome that gets caught in the machines and gets shredded off. So I wonder if these will make mailing easier. But besides that, they're beautiful colors. I'm very impressed with that, and I like that it's so different. And they coordinate with this designer paper. This is the Delicate Dreams Designer Series paper, and it is crumb cake, gray granite. Get this, are you ready? Hydrangea hue. So we got a little sneak peek at a new in color. Mossy meadow, Secret Sea, and bronze. So it's another floral, but I think it's really fun. So there's hydrangea hue in there. There's the backside. Love that linen texture. It's not texture, linen pattern. Some bronze. And then a watercolor, gray granite watercolor. Very masculine right there. Beautiful. Look at that bronze catching the light. This one I feel like is the odd man out pattern, but I think it's going to look really cute with barbecue. Doesn't it look like checkered, like a kitchen towel or an oven mitt? Or it has barbecue vibes to me. Okay, moving along. There's a bronze on Secret Sea floral. There's hydrangea hue right there. And let me pause here for just a minute because I want to show you boho blue with hydrangea hue. So definitely more gray, and this has a little bit of a lavender purpley tone to it. Close, but not quite. I think you could get away with a couple of cards using your boho blue before hydrangea hue is available. And let's see here. Next one. I love this pattern. I think it's elegant. It could go as elegant as wedding anniversary, New Year. It could be fall. Just a beautiful pattern. And then this, love this one. It has kind of a chic, feminine feel to it without being girly, you know. And then this big floral get those together. Let me pull that down in here. And I like the kind of simple pattern accent to the kind of busy one, or even the other way around. A lot of the simple one with a little bit of that little splash of that extra. And as far as florals go, that's extra. And then the back side of that one is a mossy metal wash. All right, so that is what I pre-ordered. And those are items that you can pre-order too if you're a demonstrator. And yeah, let's see what you guys are saying about that. Just wondering what you used. So cute. Yeah, for the bunny tails. Okay, so Card Club for Cool People, we're doing Easter Joy next month. And you're going to get a half a spool of the, hold on, I gotta get the proper name of it because it makes the best bunny tails. You're gonna get a full package of the twine on that card, and then a half a package of the ribbon. Let me show you. So this is what's in Card Club. It's not too late to join us for Card Club for Cool People February. And we're doing Easter Joy cards. You're going to get a whole package of this Pack Your Bags twine because it's perfect with that designer paper from the suite. So you'll get the whole thing. And then you're going to get a half a spool of this stuff. It came out at holiday time. It's called Fluffy Trim. And it makes the best bunny tail. So that's what I used. If you guys are wondering about that, stay tuned. We're doing it in Card Club, but we're also going to use the same idea in Shortcut Card Sketch 24. So I'll be teaching how to do it on both Card Club and live. Oh, I missed one more thing. I got this variegated trim, gray granite variegated trim ribbon. And this one is part of the suite with the new hydrangea hue. So this is Delicate Dreams, part of that suite, coordinates with it. The kind of textured ribbon. It's got almost a little rough texture, not offensive or abrasive. And then the white stitched edge, it looks really good coming or going. Front side, back side are the same, and ties beautifully. This is great ribbon. Both of the ribbons I chose were really great ribbon. Really great ribbon. Way to go, Stampin' Up! Because we haven't had a lot of variety of ribbons. So when they do bring ribbons, I'm loving these really super special ones. All right, yeah. I'm glad you noticed and you asked about the bunny tail. Yep, Card Club. Kathy, did you like the sneaky peeky? Let's see here. Cool box, my friend. Thank you, Tony. Lori says, genius, right? It's a good way to use up honestly, this fluffy trim, it doesn't tie very nicely. But when you're talking about like Santa's cap or cuffs on stockings, or, you know, little wintry stuff like that, or bunny tails, because when you tie, it does tie, but it's really bulky. So it's perfect. It also curls up kind of funny, but I'm going to show you some other way to use that coming up in live and in Card Club. So yeah, and you're going to get a nice, you're going to get 5 yards of it in your Card Club kit. All right. If you guys have any questions about anything, joining Card Club, the project we made today, the Quick and Sweet Valentine Treat Series, the how to get the Stampin' Positioner, the March online exclusives, anything I can help you with, reach out. Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com is my email. You can shop 24/7 or join my team by going to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net, and then from there click shop or click join. There are links in the description below for the treats that we used today, for shopping and joining and all those things. Let's see what else. Oh, and just another reminder, if you're not a demonstrator, but you want to see the rest of what's available for the March online exclusives, maybe if you're deciding if you want a starter kit or not, when you click join, put your email in and fill out the form as if you're joining, and then start a cart for your starter kit. Start picking items for your starter kit, and you'll be able to see all of the March online exclusives. And then while you're there, just join, but wait until February 3rd. Get the stamp positioner for free. Oh, Jan used the fluffy trim for the llama scarves. You guys remember the drama llamas? If you don't, check out my lives. We did the cutest portfolio with llama lollipops, and they were the best drama llama scarves. Yeah, I think this ribbon needs alternative uses, and we're gonna do some of that in Card Club. You guys, we've been live for 2 hours. I don't think I've ever done such a long live stream before. It's amazing. I hope you enjoyed the project. If you've got any questions, reach out. And yeah, have a great weekend, everybody. I hope that you guys have plenty of time for crafting this weekend. It's just the perfect crafting weather here. The snow's falling again. It's a good crafting weather. I'm going to go get me a cup of tea and clean up this mess. I will have a blog post with the project sheet for you shortly. I was only halfway done writing the instructions. And then, so that'll post today. Tomorrow morning, we'll have a recap of the Quick and Sweet Valentine treats post for you. And if you need anything, reach out. Yeah. Wait a second. Tony says, so mad. Thought there was a die set to go with those cutest crew and missed it. Thanks as you showed it, so I jumped on and ordered them. Oh, they're such good dies. Did you, the birds, the cats, and the dogs can all be cut out from the stamp, but then they also have birds, cats, and dogs that you can, like, standalone dies in it. It's a good set. I'm glad I showed you and you took advantage. They're really a fun little bit of art too. So I'm gonna go make something. Stay warm, everybody. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.